I am a huge advocate for making sure that you're starting your child on the level that they're actually at and not just based on their grade level. So like if you have a 4th grader, for example, you just assume they're 4th grade level for reading and 4th grade level for math. More often than not, especially if your kid is coming from public school, they might be a little unbalanced. So even us as homeschoolers, because I made the mistake of choosing a curriculum that wasn't the best fit, when it came to math, I actually backed my daughter up an entire grade level. So we are currently in this situation where my daughter is working on 2nd grade reading and language arts, but she's working on 1st grade math. At first, this really bothered me. So I'm gonna give you a little tip. I'm gonna tell you something that we did. I don't know if I would recommend this to everybody. Like there's definitely pros and cons to doing it this way, but I'm just gonna tell you what we did. Because I did not want her to be an entire year ahead in reading, therefore being an entire year behind in math, what I did was we actually stopped doing reading and language arts every single day like we typically do, and we only did reading and language arts twice a week. While we were doing reading and language arts twice a week, we were doing math every single day. So you might see where I'm going with this. We eventually caught up to where we'll be starting the 2nd grade math like in the next week or so. So then we will finally be on 2nd grade level for both of the subjects. We basically just kind of put a pause on reading and language arts, didn't do it as often so that we could catch up in math. Now, the reason why I say I don't know if I recommend this or even know if this is like a good suggestion is because sometimes you will have kids that are 2 grade levels or even 3 grade levels ahead in one subject or behind in a subject. So maybe like 5th grade math level, but 2nd grade reading level. Sometimes it really will be that unbalanced. Now, can you stop doing one subject or slow down on one subject until your kid catches up 2 or 3 grade levels? Probably not. But I still stand by the fact that this is the best thing you can do for your child. Instead of just like rushing them along and trying to get them into the grade level they're supposed to be, go back as far as you need to go to fill in those gaps. But realistically, as homeschoolers, because we're able to finish our work so quickly and we're able to go year round instead of taking big long breaks, we're gonna be finishing through the 12th grade earlier than a public school child would anyways. So once we get into the older grades, like the 10th, 11th, 12th grade, if we're still unbalanced to where she's a little lower in math and a little higher in reading, then okay, we'll finish out reading in the 12th grade and then we'll spend the rest of the year working on math. You know what I mean? Like there's gonna be a lot of flexibility with it. Now, if you're in a state that requires testing and you're testing within the grade level, so your child is of age to be testing at a 4th grade level, they're going to be taking the 4th grade reading test and the 4th grade math test. However, if your child's working on 2nd grade math when they're supposed to be in 4th grade math and they're testing on a 4th grade level, then obviously there's going to be a lot of things on that test that they haven't been exposed to or haven't mastered. Here's the irony of this. If you just put your kid in the 4th grade math, even though they're really on a 2nd grade level because you're worried about them doing well on the test, well, there's so many gaps within their math education anyways that giving them that 4th grade test, whether or not you're doing a 2nd grade math curriculum or a 4th grade math curriculum, they're gonna do really poorly on that math test because of those gaps. So it's always better to go back, fill in those gaps, even if you got to go all the way back to a kindergarten level. Sometimes you might have to do that. Like if they don't have good number sense, if they don't understand place value, you can lose them very early on, kindergarten, 1st grade. Don't worry about the lack of balance between subjects. Like don't let that stop you from giving your child what they need.